My beloved child, do not be afraid when the winds begin to change. Do not panic when the sky once calm suddenly grows heavy, when strange clouds gather at the horizon and the light takes on an unfamiliar golden hue. For before every shift I have ordained in your life, creation itself trembles at the command of heaven. Not a single leaf turns without my permission. Not a single gust rises without my authority. You are stepping into a marked moment, not one of disaster, but of destiny written before time began. And now I come to tell you, this, what is about to unfold, is not meant to break you, but to complete what I began within you. You feel uneasy, don't you? There is something in the air that makes your soul quiver, as if it knows what your mind cannot yet grasp. I know, for your soul, my child, has heard my voice long before you were born. In the unseen realm where the first light was named, I engraved your name upon my palm. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, says Jeremiah 1:5, and that was no idle word. I wove you together from light and dust, from the breath of eternity and the heartbeat of the earth, so that you might stand as living proof of my love in a world that has forgotten its creator. So when you tremble, you are not merely afraid of what is coming, you are feeling the heartbeat of heaven drawing near. I know that what I am about to say will stir both fear and longing within you, for I will not paint for you a road strewn with roses. I will speak truth, the truth of transformation, of holy fire, of pain that refines. My child, the time has come for me to lift the veil between what you believe and what you truly understand. It is time for you to step out of the safety of religion and into the place where faith becomes alive. What is coming is not a curse, but a doorway. It is not a meaningless storm, but my hand in the form of testing. Everything I permit carries within it the seed of glory. Just as the grain of wheat must die to sprout, just as iron must pass through fire to be strengthened, so too must you walk through this trembling season to become the truest version of yourself, the version I envisioned before the dawn of the Poland creation. I know you fear loss. You are afraid to let go of what you think you cannot live without. But I ask you, if a child clings tightly to a stone, can it receive the gem I long to place in its hand? You are holding too tightly to things meant only for a season, but I am preparing for you something of eternal worth. The shaking that comes is only to remove what no longer aligns with the light you are about to carry. For I cannot pour new wine into old skins. I cannot bestow eternal blessing upon a heart still full of fear. So, my child, when the winds begin to rise, know that it is I clearing the way for the sacred to come forth. You ask, why me? Why not someone else to bear this trial? Because you are chosen, my beloved. The love I have for you is not a soft or careless love. It is a love that longs to see you bear fruit in the garden of eternity. I did not call you to survive, I called you to live forever. And eternity is forged only in fire. You have prayed for me to use you for my glory, have you not? Then know this: none are used without being refined. None are sent without being shaped. Every prayer I receive carries with it a season of fire, for glory cannot rest upon the counterfeit. Glory dwells only in truth, and truth is revealed when every mask is burned away. My dear child, do not fear the silence that is coming. I am not withdrawing from you. I am changing the way I speak. There are seasons when I speak through words, and there are seasons when I speak through stillness. Sometimes I reveal myself in speech, other times in waiting. In the next 4 weeks, when all around you seems to fall quiet, you will think I have hidden myself. But truly, I am standing just behind the door. I am watching every breath, every tear, every beat of your heart. Everything is unfolding with precision down to the whisper of the wind. Nothing happens outside my will. You will not be crushed, you will be awakened. You will not be abandoned. You will be ushered into the place where I wait. And there you will see me, not through another's words, but through my living presence itself. My beloved child, there are certain lessons that can only be learned in the night. The light of day is not strong enough to etch truth into your spirit. Only when darkness surrounds you do you learn to see with the eyes of the soul. And that is what I desire to teach you in this season. You will learn to recognize my light amid the thickest night. You will learn to trust me even when you no longer feel anything. You will learn to call me Father in the heart of the storm. And when you do, heaven itself will bend low, for nothing moves my throne more deeply than a soul that believes even while it aches. That is true faith, faith that needs no proof, faith that does not depend on emotion, faith refined in the fire. My child, I know this may sound frightening, but in truth it is a gift. For through this trial you will be reborn not as a new person, but as a soul that has seen heaven. You will look upon yourself and scarcely recognize the one you once were. The self that worried, struggled, and tried to control everything will slowly dissolve in the light of surrender. You will learn to live, not to prove, but to be, not to grasp, but to receive, not to run from darkness, but to become light within it. For that is why you exist, to reflect me. When you hear these words, your heart may not yet understand, but I speak them to sow within you a prophecy for the coming season. When the storm arrives, remember I spoke beforehand. When the tears fall, remember I was already there. When you feel as though all is lost, remember within that emptiness I am creating something new. Not every loss is an ending. Sometimes it is the beginning of a greater design. I am the one who turns mourning into dancing, ashes into crowns of glory. Everything you thought was stolen I will use for miracles, and everything you thought was delayed I will make perfectly timed. For I am never late. So now, my beloved one, when the first winds begin to blow, do not bow your head in fear. Stand firm in the peace I give, the peace that does not depend on circumstances. I will place within you a strength you never knew you possessed. I will put my words in your mouth, and when you speak, darkness will tremble. You will not merely survive this season, you will be transformed, and others will look upon you and know that only one could turn pain into glory, that one is me. Therefore, my precious child, take a deep breath, lift up your head, look straight toward the horizon that is changing its hue. For the shifting sky is not threatening you, it is announcing that heaven is about to intervene. You are not lost. You are being led to the intersection of time and eternity. And when you arrive, you will understand that everything I allowed was never meaningless. Every tremor carried the rhythm of my heart within it. My beloved, now I will tell you what you have long asked me to reveal, why this event had to come. You once thought I allowed it because you failed, because I wished to punish you, or because I had withdrawn. But my child, the truth is entirely different. This event is not a sign of abandonment, but evidence of divine choice. It is the answer to the deepest prayers within your heart, those whispered in the night when no one heard but I did. You prayed to live a life that was not ordinary, a life that reflected the light of heaven. You cried out, "Lord, I want to know you more," and I, the faithful one, listened. But do you know this? For a soul to truly know me, it must walk through the road of transformation. You prayed for depth, so I allowed you to pass through darkness. For only in the night can you see the stars no one notices by day. You prayed for wisdom, so I let your plans collapse, that you might learn the difference between human reasoning and divine insight. You prayed for freedom, so I took away what you once leaned upon, that you might discover true liberty. Not the freedom to do as you please, but the freedom of a soul unbound from invisible chains. Everything I permit is never random. It is an answer wrapped in the form of trial, top of form, bottom of form. My child, I have seen you many times, standing at the crossroads, trembling between two fears, the fear of losing and the fear of stopping. You cling to what is familiar because it makes you feel safe. But I did not call you to safety. I called you to bring forth life. Safety keeps you wrapped in a cocoon, but life demands that you break free from it. So I allow disruptions to come, not because I desire to hurt you, but because I desire you to fly. Every crack in your life is not evidence of failure, but an opening for light to enter. You think I am breaking you, but in truth I am making a way. There is a sacred law you must understand: no birth comes without pain. Just as a woman must endure labor before giving birth, so must the soul endure the contractions of destiny before stepping into a new season. You are in a spiritual labor, and what I am about to bring forth through you will make you forget the pain you now feel. For as Romans 8:1-8 declares, the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. That word is being fulfilled in you. You are not losing. You are expanding. You are not being buried. You are being planted. And a seed only breaks open when it is willing to die in the soil. My child, in my eternal design, nothing is wasted. Everything holds meaning. The storm is not a deviation, but a part of my blueprint. You see collapse, but I see construction. You see nightfall, but I see the dawn rising. You see loss, but I see a divine exchange of garments, your ashes for my glory. There are things I must remove, not because they are evil, but because their purpose is complete. Every relationship, every dream, every task, every plan, if I take it from you, it is only because I have prepared something far greater. But for the new to arrive, the old must be released. I cannot pour new wine into old wineskins, for they will burst. I love you too deeply to let you contain the new with the old form. Do not think I am testing you as humans test one another. I do not need to verify your faithfulness, I know it well. What I am doing is not examination, but transformation. I am reshaping your soul so that it can carry what I am about to entrust to you. Like the potter pressing clay in his hands, I am pressing you not to break you, but to form you. The pressure you feel is not a sign of ending. It is a sign that I am at work. If you could see from my perspective, you would smile even through tears, for you would perceive my hands skillfully orchestrating every detail with infinite love. My beloved, I am preparing you for a season many only dream of entering, a time when your voice will carry authority, not because of what you have learned, but because of what you have endured. I am making you a living testimony of resurrection. When you emerge from this trial, your words will no longer be theory, they will be fire. You will speak, and hearts will be moved not by eloquence, but because they will feel me in your every breath. That is why I allow pain for healed wounds become the channels where my light shines through. Every fracture in your vessel will become a place where my glory radiates. You ask, Lord, why is there no gentler way to teach me? I answer, because some truths can only be engraved upon the soul by fire. Easy grace produces fragile faith, but grace forged in suffering births eternal strength. I want you to know me not only as the miracle worker, but as the one who sits beside you in the night. Not only as the waymaker, but as the companion when no way remains. For when you know me in that way, no storm will ever shake you again. You will stand still amid chaos, at peace within the tempest, and radiant in the darkest hour. And the world will look at you and see me. Many ask me for strength, but when I send the opportunity to grow strong, they flee. Many ask me to teach them love, but when I send them those who are difficult to love, they grow angry. But you did not run. You stood, though trembling. You prayed, though your tears fell. You sought me, though you heard no reply. That alone makes me proud. You do not realize that your refusal to give up is already a victory in heaven. And so I open before you a new chapter, a chapter of revelation, where you will no longer know me by stories told, but by experience lived. You will see my hand in the smallest things. You will hear my voice in the rhythm of your heartbeat. You will know that I am not the God of distance, but the God who is ever near. And then you will understand what you thought was punishment was in fact a doorway drawing you closer to my heart. My beloved child, when the storm comes, do not hastily pray for it to pass. Instead, ask me to help you learn fully the lesson it carries. For every trial not yet understood will return in another form, but a lesson truly grasped becomes the foundation of spiritual authority. And when you understand this, you will no longer fear the darkness, for you will know that light does not need to fight. It only needs to appear. You are about to see me more clearly than ever before. In sorrow, you will discover the beauty of my presence. In brokenness, you will find yourself made whole. In tears, you will hear the melody of life. And when all has passed, you will say, "The Lord has done this, and it is good." For the true purpose of this trial is not to make you fall. It is to make you a living testimony of my unshakable love. You will become the song of redemption, the light of resurrection, and the fragrance of grace. My beloved one, be ready. I have not come to take away your peace, but to replace it with true peace. I have not come to destroy your dreams, but to clear the path for the dream I planted in you since the dawn of creation. I have not come to end, but to begin. And when you cross this threshold, you will no longer be who you once were. You will be the child I envisioned, radiant, strong, and powerful in love. My precious child, when the heavy clouds gather, you only see the sun being hidden, yet you do not know that behind them the light has never gone out. Likewise, when the coming event casts its shadow upon your life, you may not see me, but I am still working tirelessly. Behind the veil, your eyes cannot yet pierce a great work is being built. What seems to be collapsing is in truth being rearranged into divine order. Every detail, every shift, every person I bring into your life in this season, each one holds a precise place in the eternal design I am painting. You often think that when I act, I will do so loudly, with thunder, with miracles seen by all. But most of the time I work in silence. I weave invisible threads of grace through the days that seem most ordinary. You do not notice it, but I am changing the position of things in your life. I am closing doors that no longer lead you to your destiny and opening paths you never saw before. Sometimes I hide a blessing in the form of loss, simply to teach you to see with spiritual eyes rather than reason. What you think is collapse is in truth a new foundation. What you think is an ending is merely the first chapter of a new divine story I am about to write. I know you ask yourself, how can these pains possibly bring forth something good, my child? I am the one who can turn tears into streams of life. I can transform ashes into fertile soil and valleys of weeping into gates of glory. You see fragments scattered and broken, but I see the materials of a new temple. The very things you thought were lost are becoming the seeds of the harvest I have ordained. For I do not merely restore what was ruined, I make all things new. I do not patch an old garment, I tailor a new one. I do not rebuild a fallen house, I raise an eternal sanctuary. So do not cling to the fragments of yesterday, for I am calling you into a new day. Everything I am preparing bears the mark of heaven. You may not see the whole picture, but trust that my hand does not tremble. When I allow something to be taken away, I have already prepared what awaits ahead. When one door closes, I have opened a path that only those who dare to believe will perceive. The storm does not come to sweep you away, but to carry you to another shore where the roots of your faith will grow deep and bear fruit in peace. You are being prepared not for an ordinary life, but for an anointed mission. My child, do you not realize that I chose this moment long before the world was formed? Before light existed, I saw this very day of yours. Before you spoke your first word, I had already heard your prayer in eternity. Nothing in your journey is accidental. Every tear you have shed has been counted and destined to water the seeds within your soul so they may bloom. Every person you have encountered, whether they brought you love or pain, was part of the plan for you to learn to love as I love, without condition, without boundary. And when you have learned that you will become more like me, radiant as gold refined by fire, in this season I am forging you into an instrument, not one made of fame or power, but of faith and compassion. I will use your very pain as the language through which I touch the hearts of the wounded. I will turn your wounds into sources of light. I will make you a living testimony that my love is greater than all that has been lost. When others look at you, they will see me. When they hear you speak, they will hear my voice. When they touch you, they will feel my healing. For I am exchanging one thing for another. Instead of letting pain weigh you down, I will turn it into wings that lift you higher. My child, do not think you are lost. You are simply walking through the hallway of transformation. What you see as a dead end, I see as a turning point. What you think is a pause, I call a beginning. I am cleansing every corner of your spirit to pour in something new, something that had I given it to you before you would not have been able to contain. Often I withhold what you ask, not because I do not hear, but because I am enlarging the capacity of your soul so that when the blessing comes, it will not be lost. If you received it too soon, it would crush you. But when I finish this work, you will have the strength to carry the glory I place upon you. You once asked me for deep understanding of your life's purpose. This is the answer, though it comes clothed in adversity. Your purpose is not to live in comfort, but to bring light into darkness. You were not born to escape the fire, but to walk into it and carry out the flame of resurrection for others. You were chosen to bear witness to an unshakable love, a love once crucified, yet risen in glory. And my child, resurrection never happens without death first. So too, glory never comes without surrender. You must die to the ways you once understood, controlled, and protected yourself, so that I may live fully within you. What I am preparing for you far exceeds what you ever asked for. I do not merely want to heal you, I want to make you a vessel of healing. I do not only wish to save you from pain, I want to make you a bearer of light for those in pain. You will pass through darkness, but you will carry a torch. You will cross rivers, but you will become a guide for those lost in the current. I will use this very experience to give you authority, an authority that cannot come from education or position, but only from true surrender. When the appointed time comes, you will look back and see that every shattered moment was worth it. Every prayer that once seemed unanswered was in fact fulfilled in a more perfect form. Every loss, every moment you thought you could not endure, became a stone paving the path toward your destiny. And when you emerge from this season, you will no longer say, I understand everything, but I trust you. For true faith is born not from understanding, but from surrender. My child, I am not saying you will never cry again, but I promise that not one of your tears will fall in vain. I will use them to water a garden you have not yet seen. I am not saying you will never feel pain again, but I promise that pain will no longer define you. It will become a story of victory, of mercy, of light rising out of darkness. For after this storm, you will witness a miracle. You will find yourself again, but not the old self. You will behold the version of you that I have always seen, courageous, discerning, full of faith, and clothed in glory. You will emerge from the fire, carrying no scent of smoke, only the fragrance of heaven. Those who once doubted you will have to admit that the hand of God is upon your life, and you will know that everything you endured was only the prelude to a radiant hymn I am continuing to compose through your days. My beloved child, the storm has truly begun. Everything I once spoke to you in the light is now being tested in the dark. The first winds you once felt have become mighty whirlwinds, toppling all that you thought was secure. The plans you built carefully, the relationships you believed unshakable, now sway before your eyes like branches in a tempest. You try to hold on, yet the ground beneath you softens. You cry, Lord, where are you? And I answer, I am here, right in the heart of the storm. I know the wind is howling, and I hear the rapid beating of your heart. I see your trembling hands trying to hold on to what is slipping away. But my child, stop. Do not resist the current I have allowed to flow. Do not fear the thunder, for that thunder only proclaims that I am speaking. This storm is not your enemy. It is a tool in my hand. It cannot touch your soul unless I command it to. And if I have permitted it to come, then know that within its heart lies a great lesson wrapped in love. You are now experiencing what many have only read from Scripture. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. But now that verse is no longer a line to recite, it is reality. You are walking through that valley, and the only light still shining upon you is my presence. You cannot see what lies ahead, but I have already seen the end. You see only the rain, but I see the rainbow. You hear only thunder, but I hear the song of rebirth echoing through eternity. My child, I do not rebuke you for your tears. Tears are not signs of weakness. They are signs of truth. You are being honest with me, and that is what I love. I do not need a child pretending to be strong. I want you with all your trembling and frailty. So cry if you must, but do not despair. Let your tears wash away what you cannot carry into the next season. Every tear that falls I take note of. They do not vanish into the earth. They fall into my heart, where I keep them to water the seeds of faith. These very tears will become the early rain for the harvest that is coming to you. Do you see, beloved, this is the part few are willing to walk through, yet it is the part none can skip. There is no glory without a valley, no dawn without night. And I do not stand on the other side waiting for you to make it through. I am here in the valley with you. You are not alone, you never have been. Even when you cannot feel me, my presence surrounds you like a cloak. There are moments when it seems everything is collapsing, but in truth only what is false is falling apart. What belongs to me within you is growing stronger, brighter, and more alive. My child, this is where your faith is tested, not by theory, but by breath itself. Every morning you awaken and still choose to believe, that is victory. Every night you lay your head down and still call my name, that is a miracle. The storm did not come to measure your strength, but to reveal mine within you. I do not need you to be perfect. I need you to be faithful. I do not ask you to understand everything. I only ask that you do not take your eyes off me. Sometimes I know you will grow angry. You will want to ask why I am not angry when you ask. I am not shaken by your doubt. My child, I am not a fragile God who can be wounded by your questions. I am a father, and a father listens. You can shout, you can cry, you can say you cannot bear it anymore. Yet even in those words, I still hear the steady heartbeat of loyalty. You are still talking to me. And that is what keeps you alive. The enemy wants your silence, for he knows that as long as you are still speaking, you are still connected to me. He fears the prayers that come mixed with tears, for in those prayers I am at work. You ask, when will this storm pass? I tell you, when I have finished what I am doing within you. Do not think I keep you in the storm longer than necessary. I know your limits, and I measure the strength of the wind according to the endurance of your soul. Not a speck of dust blows across your face without my knowing. I know you are fragile, but in that very fragility, my grace is made perfect. I am teaching you how to take refuge, not how to take control. I am teaching you how to be still, not how to strive. For in stillness you will finally hear my voice amid the roar of the wind. My child, there is a secret that only those who dare to walk through the storm can understand. In the very heart of the storm, the wind stops blowing. At the center of chaos lies a realm of perfect peace, and that is where I stand. If you are willing to step deeper instead of running away, you will find me there. I am not outside the storm calling you out. I am within it, inviting you in. For it is there that you will learn a truth no sermon can teach. I am not the one who removes the storm, but the one who keeps you standing through it. I am allowing what is false to be swept away. You may see loss, but it is in fact purification. I am taking away what once made you complacent, so that I may give you what is true. I am cutting off relationships built on emotion, so that I may grant you connections bound by purpose. I am letting the laughter born of pretense fade, so that you may hear the genuine laughter of your soul. And when the storm has passed, you will see that only what belongs to me remains. Look back, my child. Do you see it now? Every small disturbance bears my fingerprints. Even silence moves to my rhythm. When you think I am not speaking, I am whispering in the stillness. Trust me. When you think I have left, I have only stepped back so you may learn how to walk. My love is not a love of control, but of freedom. I want you to know that even when everything around you collapses, you can still stand because the ground beneath you is me. Do not grieve when those who once walked beside you begin to leave. They are not being taken away to punish you, but to free you. Some people are meant to stay only for a season. Some are but temporary shade along the path. But I am the one who remains with you, always, even to the end of the age. You will learn that loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the absence of fear when only I am near. And when the storm reaches its height, when everything within you seems to break apart, that is not the end, but the moment the seed begins to crack open, new life is stirring amid the ruins. I am making your soul fertile again. You will never be the same. The storm will not destroy you. It will define you. It will awaken the parts of you that peace could never reach. It will remind you that you were made to live in power, not in fear. My beloved child, remember, these storms never last forever, but what is formed within them endures for eternity. When the rain stops and the clouds disperse, you will find me standing among the remnants, and you will understand that nothing was truly lost, only transformed. The storm takes away only what you no longer need so that you may receive what has been eternally yours. My dear one, now you are in the deepest part of the valley. The storm has quieted, but not because everything is calm, it has merely changed its form. Now instead of roaring winds, you hear silence, the kind that pierces deeper than thunder. You seek me, yet find only emptiness. You call, but your words seem to fall into nothingness. Each prayer you utter drifts into the cold air like mist before dawn, and you ask, Lord, where are you? Why do you not speak? My child, I know that feeling. I hear even the cries you cannot voice. I see the nights when you lie awake, your eyes fixed on the ceiling, your heart beating to the rhythm of loneliness. I see your hands clutching the blanket as if it could hold together the fragments of your soul. And I tell you this, I have never left you. This silence is not distance. It is the soil wrapping around the seed I have planted. If you could see what is happening in the unseen, you would know that in the silence the miracle is already growing. Do you know why I am silent, my child? Because there are truths that cannot be heard with the ears, only felt with the soul. There are revelations that cannot be taught by words, only carved through experience. If I were to keep speaking, you would hear me with your mind, but I want you to hear me with your faith. When you can no longer hear my voice, yet still choose to believe I am near, that is when true faith is born. Faith does not emerge amid miracles, it is born in the silence, where the soul must choose to trust even when all evidence has vanished. You are in the season of the soil, my child, the time when every seed lies hidden without light, without sound, without recognition. It is where all life begins, yet where every weary soul longs to give up. But my child, do not dig up your seed just because you cannot see the sprout. Believe that the dark earth is not a grave but a womb. For in this silence I am doing what words cannot do. I am transforming your very nature. The seed of faith within you is splitting open, and yes, it hurts. But it is necessary. I know you are weary. You have fought with tears and prayed until your words ran dry. You feel exhausted as though every breath itself were an effort. But truly, I tell you, you are not growing weaker. You are being cleansed of your own strength. You are learning that it is not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit. You are learning how to let go so that you may be carried. You are learning to stop striving so that you may begin to trust. And just when you believe you can take no more steps, it is then that I am carrying you through that stretch of the journey. There are moments, I know, when you feel abandoned in a desert with no promise, no feeling, no motivation left. But my child, let me tell you the secret known only to the chosen souls. It is in the wilderness that true faith is born. For when there is nothing left to lean on, you will find that you have only me. And when you discover that I am enough, you will realize that you were never lacking. Remember, Moses had to dwell in the desert for 40 years before he heard my voice from the burning bush. David had to flee and hide in caves before he became king. Even my son Jesus endured the deepest loneliness upon the cross when he cried, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And yet that very moment of seeming abandonment became the hour of redemption. You, my beloved, are walking that same path. You are learning to trust in silence, to love through solitude, and to stand firm in the darkness. My child, there is a kind of pain the world does not understand, the pain of a soul being born into light. I do not wish for you to escape it, for within it lies a sacred gift. When you pass through the depth of suffering, you will find a peace that nothing can steal away. That peace does not come from having everything restored to how it once was, but from realizing you no longer need it to be that way. You will know that even if all is lost, you still have me, and that is enough. I know you long to hear, my voice to feel, my presence clearly to see a sign that you have not lost your way. But sometimes the greatest presence is found in the deepest stillness. I am in your breath, in the beating of your heart, in every tear that falls. I do not need to speak to prove I am near. When a father holds his child's hand in the dark, he does not need to say a word for the child to know he is there. The child feels the warmth. And you, my child, I am holding your hand just the same. Do not fear this emptiness. It is not a punishment. It is the space I am clearing to fill with glory. Do not rush to fill it with noise, with work, with fear, or with reason. Let it be empty. Let it be room for me. For only when there is nothing left for you to cling to will you see that I am everything. And when you understand that every gate of heaven will open, my beloved, I do not promise you will feel no more pain, but I promise that this pain is giving birth to life. Every time you sigh, I am breathing new life into you. Every time you collapse, I am shaping your soul into my likeness. Every time you feel forgotten, I am writing your name into a new chapter of grace. One day you will look back and see that these silent nights were the moments when I spoke the loudest. The very place you thought was a grave will have become a garden. The very moment you thought all was lost will have been the moment you gained what is eternal. For the seed of faith, once buried, never dies. It is simply preparing to break through the ground and reach for the light. My child, I see that tender shoot within your soul, fragile yet alive. It trembles as it pushes through the soil of uncertainty. And I, like a patient gardener, am bending low, covering it with my hand. I will not let any wind break it. I will not allow darkness to overshadow it. I will feed it with grace, and when the season comes, it will become a tree of life, giving shade to many. You think you are alone, but in truth I am preparing you to become a source of comfort for countless souls. My beloved one, the dawn is coming. You may not see it yet, for the first light is always faint and gentle, visible only to those who have wept long enough to recognize it. But I say to you, open your eyes. Look at the end of the valley where the clouds are thinning, a ray of light is breaking through. It is not an illusion nor the end of pain, it is the beginning of understanding. You are learning to see me not only in miracles but in the silence. You are learning to trust me, not only when I speak but when I am still, In the darkness, you thought I had hidden my face. Yet in truth I had drawn nearer than ever before, like a father kneeling beside his sleeping child, careful not to startle him awake. I sat there in silence, keeping watch over you. Every time you sighed, I counted it. Every tear you shed, I caught it. And in that quiet, I was teaching you a lesson only the chosen can understand. My silence is not distance, it is trust. I am silent because I know the faith within you is strong enough to stand. My child, look within your heart. Do you see it? Where fear once lived, now there is a small glimmer of peace. Where confusion once raged, there is now a hint of acceptance. Where chaos once ruled, there is a pocket of stillness. That is the first light. It has not yet changed your circumstances, but it is changing you. I do not rush to drive away the darkness, for light only gains meaning when you have learned to treasure it. This light does not come from outside, it flows from within, from the seed of faith newly sprouted. It is not a blinding brilliance that forces eyes to close, but a gentle glow that warms the heart. You thought restoration required a miracle from my hand, but the true miracle is already unfolding within you, though you may not yet see it. When you sit quietly through the night and whisper, "I still believe," that is the miracle. When you do not understand yet, refuse to give up, that is the miracle. When you smile though your tears have not yet dried, that too is the miracle. These moments are not recorded in history books, yet they shake the heavens. For my child, I do not merely seek those who conquer outwardly, I am shaping those who overcome within. Do you know light does not always arrive with thunder? Sometimes it comes like a breath, like the steady beat of a heart, like a single drop of water falling upon the barren desert. You are beginning to feel me in those small things. In the stillness of dawn, when you take a deep breath and realize your heart still beats, that is me. In the dew glistening upon a leaf, that is me. In your soul, when the faintest spark of hope flickers again, that is me. My light does not come to display power, it comes to resurrect your spirit. My child, let me tell you a mystery. Souls that have walked through the deepest darkness shine the brightest, for they know the worth of light. They no longer boast of faith, they become faith itself. They no longer speak of love, they live love. You too are being molded in this way. You thought you were broken, but truly you were only being bent so that you might carry grace. You thought you were weak, but truly you were softening, and in that softness I can imprint my image upon you. I do not desire you to be strong as the world defines strength, but steadfast as heaven defines it, gentle yet unbreakable, quiet yet resolute, silent yet full of power. Now, my child, listen again, not with your ears but with your soul. My voice is still there. It does not roar like thunder nor speak in clear sentences, it whispers like a breeze. It says, I am still here. You are not lost. You have entered the season where faith is no longer borrowed from others, but born of your own encounter with me. This relationship can no longer be shaken, for it is built upon tears, not theories. The true love between you and me needs no confirmation. It lives in the moments when you choose to stay, even when you feel nothing at all. Do you see that light? It is not yet radiant, but it is real. It has not yet driven away the darkness, but it is pushing it back bit by bit. That is how I work slowly with each breath, with every small choice. For I do not merely wish to change your situation. I desire to transform you that you may change the situation. I do not only want you to survive, I want you to walk with the authority of one who has lived through the valley. You will no longer say, I know God is good, but I have seen him. My beloved, let this light dissolve the last traces of resentment in your heart. Stop asking why, ask instead for what purpose, and I will answer, so that you may know me. There is no lesson more precious than that. Everything else, success, work, reputation, is dust. Only one thing endures forever, the communion between you and me. Everything in this season is leading you back to that. I know your soul is still weary. but look, your trembling has lessened. Your heart now beats in a rhythm of peace. Your voice, though soft, no longer quivers. The wounds remain, but they no longer bleed. They are turning into scars, and scars are proof of healing. You have not lost anything. You are simply being reshaped to better fit the light. I have begun rewriting the story of your life, not with ink, but with my very breath. And then there will come a moment when you realize this: I was never far away. My silence was a song, one that only a humble soul can hear. It does not echo outward, but inward. It tells you that you have grown enough not to need a loud call, but only a gentle awareness. You have matured in faith. You have learned to believe without seeing, to love, without demanding, to worship without needing a reason. That is true freedom. That is true restoration. My beloved child, the light is expanding. It is reaching into the final hidden corners of your heart, revealing the things you once avoided. Do not be afraid. Truth does not come to condemn you, but to set you free. Let the light do its work. Let it shine into every shadow so that you may know, even there I still call you by name. You are mine. Nothing can change that. No failure can separate you from my love. No distance can make me forget you. And as you take a deep breath within this new light, you will feel as though you have come alive again. No longer the weary, fearful, dependent self you once were, but a soul renewed from within, light, still, and radiant in peace. You will no longer need a miracle to believe, for you yourself will have become the miracle. Rise, my child. Let this light lead you out of the valley. There is no need to hurry. I will walk with you step by step. Every step will be a song, every breath a word of praise. And when you look back, you will no longer see the darkness, but trails of light, footprints of grace, marks that I was there all along, even in the days that seemed most silent. Now this light does not merely shine down into the valley, it shines forth from within you. My beloved, you think the storm has passed, that the valley lies behind. But in truth, what has ended is only the outer layer of the journey. Within you, the fire has just begun to burn. Not the fire of destruction, but of refinement, the fire that only the chosen can endure. It does not come from without, but from within your spirit, where I am quietly yet powerfully at work. This fire does not blaze to consume, but to purify, to separate gold from dross, that my light may reflect more clearly through your soul. I know the fear that rises in you when the first flame touches. It is unlike any pain you have ever known. It does not make you cry out at once, it makes you silent, a deep, heavy silence that makes your heart tremble. You feel as if something inside you is melting, as if the things you once believed, the things you once clung to, are dissolving in the blazing light of truth. And indeed, I am melting away what has hardened in your soul, the fears, the judgments, the memories that have held you captive too long. This fire has not come to destroy you, but to make you real. I do not use fire to test whether you are faithful. I use fire to restore my image within you. For there are parts of you that cannot be changed by words, only by fire. The flame I ignite will reach even the hidden corners. You once covered the places you told yourself, this part is fine. But I, who see all things, know that only when fire touches there will you truly be free. My child, do not fear being exposed, for only when you are stripped to the core can I clothe you in true glory. The fire I am kindling within you is not like the fire of the world. The world's fire causes loss, mine causes discovery. It does not burn to punish, but to transform. Just as gold must face the flame to reveal its purity, so must your soul pass through this refining to reflect my splendor. Every pain, every memory rekindled, every wound you thought was healed, all of it is being handled by the fire of my spirit. I do not want you to live among the ashes of your past. I want you to burn with the breath of my life. You will feel the heat, not on your skin, but in your spirit. You will see old patterns breaking apart, tired ways of thinking, beliefs that drain you, habits that seem harmless but quietly dim your inner light. I will let my fire reach the roots, for I do not wish to heal the surface. I wish to heal the source. You may feel unsteady, as though your heart is being torn, as though your faith is cracking, but that is not the sign of ruin. It is the sign that I am reshaping you. You are in the hands of the master craftsman, and fire is the tool through which I create my masterpiece. I know that you once prayed to me, transform me, make me like you. Now that prayer is being answered. But resemblance to me does not come through words, it comes through fire. I do not want you merely to speak about mercy. I want you to know the feeling of mercy when you must forgive. I do not want you merely to preach about faith. I want you to know faith when there is nothing left to hold on to but me. I do not want you merely to tell of faithfulness. I want you to become faithful even if the fire burns, even if tears fall. This is a journey no one can walk in your place, for I desire communion with you in it directly, not through intermediaries or forms. Within this fire you will hear the sound of yourself cracking open. You will see your old self scream, resist, and demand control again. It will say, I can't take this anymore. But my child, you can. For I am right there in the fire. As I was with the 3 young men in King Nebuchadnezzar's furnace, I am in the midst of yours. And within the flames there appears a 4th figure, and that is me. No fire can consume what belongs to me. It can only set you free from the chains you did not know you carried. My child, when the fire burns, you will lose the feeling of control. But truly, I tell you, that is the moment you are being healed. For control is the root of fear, and fear cannot survive in the fire of love. Perfect love casts out fear. 1 John 4:1-8. I am teaching you to trust so deeply that you no longer need to hold on. I am teaching you to surrender so completely that you no longer fear loss. I am teaching you to love so purely that there are no more limits. You thought the fire was punishment, but in truth, it is a gift only the brave dare to receive. My child, I am working within your soul, not with a hammer, but with breath. Every time you feel a sting, it is my touch. Every time you feel empty, it is I removing the old to pour in the new. Do not seek to extinguish the fire. Let it burn through. When I have finished my work, you will realize that the places which once hurt the most have become the places that shine the brightest. You will no longer carry the scent of ashes, but the fragrance of life. Others will look at you and see me not through your words, but through your gaze, through the peace that radiates from you, through the way you love without reason. And then there will come a moment when you realize that you no longer fear the fire. You will stand within it and smile because you know it has no power to harm you. Then you will understand what you once only heard, that my fire does not come to destroy but to resurrect. It does not consume the soul, it gives birth to it. You will understand why I said I will purify you as a silversmith refines silver. For only when the silver is refined can it reflect the face of the craftsman. And when I see my own reflection in you, I will know the work is complete. My child, the fire will not last forever. It will remain only until the work within you is done. When the flames subside, you will stand there not as your old self, but as a new vessel filled with light. The peace you will feel then will not be like the peace of this world. It will be deep, steady, and radiant from the inside out. You will look around and see that everything seems the same, yet you are not. And that, my beloved, is the greatest miracle of all. My beloved one, the fire I have kindled in your soul now burns deeper. It no longer consumes only what is outside, but reaches the roots, the very core where your true being was formed. You thought the fire had finished its work, but in truth, it has only begun its deepest refining, transforming the very shape of your soul to be one with mine. This fire is no longer a trial, it is sanctification. It no longer terrifies you, but fills you with trembling reverence. You feel yourself dissolving, not in pain, but in light. Every part of you, every fragment of the old self, is melting away to make room for what is new. You begin to understand that the death spoken of in Scripture is not the ceasing of breath, but the dissolution of the ego, so that the soul may merge with the breath of the living one. My child, I am performing a wonder. I am recreating you from within. You are no longer a seed burning in the fire, but a tender shoot rising from the ashes. Every emotion, every thought, every memory is being rearranged by my hand. I am teaching you to see with new eyes, not the eyes of man, but the eyes of the Spirit. You begin to perceive all things differently. You look at pain without fear, at wounds without bitterness, at the past without regret. That is the sign that your soul is changing. Form it is learning to see, as I see. I know this transformation leaves you both in awe and in fear. For to bear my image, you must shed everything that once defined you. You once thought you were what you did, what you owned, what you achieved. But now, when all those things have been stripped away, you begin to understand who you are in me. This realization does not come like a sudden blaze of light, but like the dawn that slowly warms the horizon, gentle, steady, enduring. With each passing day, with every breath you take, your soul is learning to move in harmony with the rhythm of heaven. My child, within this fire, I am not only teaching you faith, but also oneness. For faith without unity is only the beginning. But when you dissolve into me, faith becomes your very nature. You no longer seek me outside yourself, for I have become the breath within you. Every thought, if you let me touch, it carries the fragrance of heaven. Every act, no matter how small, becomes a prayer. You will no longer ask to feel me, for you will live in me. You are being drawn into the deeper layers of divine awareness, where the boundary between you and me begins to fade. Not so that you lose yourself, but so that yourself may merge with love. You will see me in everything, in the whisper of the wind brushing your cheek, in the gaze of a stranger, in the unexpected silence that softens your heart. When you begin to see me everywhere, you will realize I have never left you. Every breath you take in is an amen, and every breath you release is a praise. My beloved, this is the stage of sacred union where you no longer have to seek me, but simply recognize that I have always been there. Every effort to control, to hold, to prove gradually dissolves for you. Now know that I am the very space in which you exist. You no longer fear losing me, for how can one lose the one who dwells within every breath? You may forget, but I can never disappear. This refining fire has now become the fire of love. It does not burn to destroy, but to warm. It does not melt you in agony, but in peace. You feel something unfolding within your heart, like a hidden door opening, leading you into the depths of your soul where I dwell. And when you step inside, everything grows still. No more anxiety, no more demands, no more struggle. There remains only one thing: presence. You understand that presence is not an action, it is the state of love itself. As I reshape the contours of your soul, I am also transforming the way you love. Once you loved to be loved in return. Now you love because it is my nature within you. You no longer love because it is deserved or convenient, but because you cannot not love. The love within you ceases to be a feeling, it becomes your being. And you will see that this love can reach even those who once hurt you, because you recognize they too are walking through their own flames. You will no longer condemn, you will empathize. You will no longer resent, you will pray. For anyone who has passed through, my fire knows that no one escapes the need for redemption. My child, I am rewriting the rhythm of your heart. It no longer beats to the tempo of fear, but to the cadence of grace. You are entering the realm of peace beyond understanding, the kind of peace the world can neither give nor take away. This peace does not come because everything is right, but because you are right within everything. When the fire burns, you remain calm. When the wind blows, you stay still. When tears fall, you smile. This is not your strength. It is the evidence that I am alive within you. And my child, as this union deepens, you will begin to hear my voice not only in words, but in the rhythm of life itself. I will no longer need to call you with thunder, for your soul will respond even to my softest breeze. Every thought you think, I will be present within it. Every act you take, my hand will rest upon it. You will know my will without my speaking for you, and I will have become one in the Spirit. This is the communion I promised when I said, I am in them, and they are in me. You will see that I am not far above in the heavens, but within every drop of blood flowing through you. I am not an abstract idea, but living reality. And from this moment on, you will no longer pray as one who seeks, but as one who converses. You will no longer sing to summon me, but to harmonize with me. You will no longer worship out of duty, but out of delight. For when your soul has become one with mine, worship is no longer an act, it becomes your breath. My beloved one, look now, see how the light within you has changed. It is no longer a flickering flame, but a steady fire no wind can extinguish. You are no longer a seeker of light, for you have become light itself. My fire has completed its work. It has burned away invisible chains, washed off the dust of the past, and melted every shell of pride, fear, and doubt. Now your soul is as clear as crystal, perfectly reflecting my image. You may not know it, but in the heavenly realms a song is rising. The angels look upon you and say, behold a soul that has walked through fire and carries no scent of smoke. They bow their heads, for they see what I have done within you, something, even heaven, cannot resist the beauty of one who has fully surrendered a soul I have rebuilt from ashes. You are no longer barren soil. You are my garden. No longer a cracked vessel, but one forged in fire, made worthy to carry my glory. My child, now I declare, this I am sending you forth. Not to prove yourself, but to shine. Not to preach with reason, but to radiate through presence. For a soul that has passed through fire need not speak much. Its very being reveals me. I do not require you to appear perfect in the eyes of the world. I require you to be true. Truth may not be loud, but it is powerful. When you enter a room, darkness will retreat, not because you speak, but because I dwell within you. Beloved one, what I have done in you is not only for you. It is a seed for the world. Every trial, every tear, every night of anguish you endured has not been wasted. They are the oil for the lamp you will carry. I have not only rescued you from darkness, I have made you into a torch for those still lost. You once asked, why did I have to suffer so much? This is the answer, so you might understand the pain of others without judgment. So that when you see someone fall, you will not look down from above, but recognize them through the eyes of one who once lay in ashes. I speak to you now from this moment. You will no longer be merely the healed, but the healer. Every scar you bear is now a doorway for my light to pass through. When you touch someone with compassion, they will feel me. When you speak words of encouragement, the echo within them will carry the sound of heaven. When you pray, the earth will tremble, for those will no longer be the prayers of the weary, but of one who has walked through fire and knows the power of grace. My child, there is a kind of authority that can only come from broken souls. Those who have never lost cannot grasp the value of redemption. Those who have never walked through darkness cannot comprehend the power of light. You have walked through, and that is why I have chosen you to bear my message. I do not choose the flawless, I choose the surrendered, for I can only fill an empty vessel. And you, refined and emptied, are now ready to be filled with my Spirit. I give you something more precious than gold, greater than fame, the power of presence. Wherever you are, the atmosphere will shift. When you speak, others will see living truth in your eyes. When you are silent, peace will flow like fragrance. You will not need to strive for influence. It will flow naturally from your spirit. That is the strength of the refined, the strength not born of self but of oneness with me. My child, I know you will humbly say, I am not worthy. But it is precisely because you think so that you are. For those who believe themselves good enough cannot bear my glory. Only those who know their weakness can reveal my strength. You will carry a glory not born of effort, but of companionship. You no longer need to climb to meet me on the mountain. Simply walk, and I will walk with you. There will be no separation between service and living, for the two have become one. You will witness a wonder. People will come to you not merely seeking answers, but seeking peace. They will not understand why, but in your presence, their hearts will grow lighter, for your soul has become a doorway into my presence. This is your calling, not to work for me, but to live as me. Not to speak about me, but to let me speak through you. Not to prove that I exist, but to make others feel that I am real. My beloved child, do not think that this journey has come to an end. No, this is only the beginning of a glorious chapter. The fire no longer burns to test you. It burns to sustain the light within you. You will learn to keep that flame alive through gratitude. Each day look back and say, thank you, Lord, that I am still alive in you. Thanksgiving is the fuel that keeps the light burning. Do not let it fade, for the world needs the light you carry. My child, from now on you will no longer be one who seeks grace. You will become one who radiates it. Wherever you walk, darkness will recognize that the living one dwells in you. When you pray for someone, your words will no longer be mere words, they will be fire. When you forgive, the spiritual realm will tremble, for forgiveness is the power of souls refined by fire. And when you love, that love will break many chains, for it is no longer your love but mine flowing through you. My beloved one, I have burned you, so that I might live within you. Now you are my temple, not built of stones, but of a heart reborn. I dwell within you. Through you I move. Wherever your feet step, the ground shall be sanctified. Whatever your hands touch will bear my mark. And those who once saw you weak will stand in awe when they behold you shining, for they will know it was not you who changed, but I who have revealed myself through you. My dear child, you think that once the light breaks forth, all darkness will disappear forever. But no, the true light does not drive darkness away. It makes the darkness transparent. For only in the coexistence of light and shadow will you learn the deepest truth, that I am not only the God of the day, but also the God of the night. You are stepping into a new phase, not the storm of refinement, but the night of revelation. Their light and darkness will dwell together, intertwined, so that you may learn to see me in both. My child, I know you once thought darkness was your enemy. You prayed that I would banish it as one would chase away a wild beast. But now, as your soul matures, I want you to pause and look closer. The darkness you have feared for so long did not come to destroy you. It came to teach you the limits of your self-made light. You have lived in the brightness of emotion, of understanding, of miracles, and that was good. But now I am leading you into a deeper kind of light, a light that does not need to be seen to be real. In the darkness you will learn to see by faith, not by sight. You will sense me without needing emotion. You will hear my voice in silence. You will know that my presence does not depend on feeling, but is an eternal reality. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. That my child has now become the new breath of your soul. I did not bring you into the darkness to hide myself, but to open your eyes. Light can intoxicate you, but only in darkness can you truly value companionship. When you can no longer see me, you begin to realize that my warmth still surrounds you. When you cannot hear my voice, you discover that I still whisper through the rhythm of your heartbeat. Darkness is not the absence of me. It is the veil I use to wrap you away from the noise of the world so that only you and I remain. My beloved, there is a revelation reserved only for those who dare to stay through the night. The light of day teaches you about my power, The darkness of night teaches you about my heart. In the day you see my works, in the night you hear my breath. And I want you to know this. When I lead you through the darkness, it is not because I have abandoned you. It is because I trust that you are strong enough to walk with me in the stillness of faith. My child, I know that in the darkness your mind will rebel. It will say, "If God is truly here, why can't I feel him, but my beloved sometimes?" It is precisely because you cannot feel that I can move most freely. When you stop controlling, stop demanding, stop trying to understand, then I can fill you with what surpasses understanding. True faith is not measured by how much you feel, but by how steadfast you remain when you feel nothing at all. You are now in the sacred darkness, where the soul is no longer led by external light, but by the inner light I have placed within you. That light, my child, can never be extinguished. No matter how thick the night becomes, even a single spark is enough to ensure that darkness will never prevail. And you, my beloved, are that spark, top of form. Bottom of form, I want you to understand, this true union is not when you recognize me only in joy, but when you can still see me through your tears. When you say, "I do not understand, but I believe," that is when you are most deeply united with me. When you whisper, "I cannot see you, but I know you are here," that is when you have crossed the boundary of understanding and entered the realm of mystery. My child, it is within the darkness that I reveal secrets no daylight can uncover. The night is the chamber of revelation where souls who dare to be still will hear my voice more clearly than 1,000 sermons. In the darkness I do not teach you through words but through presence. You will not hear me say I love you, yet you will know it so profoundly that doubt becomes impossible. I no longer need to prove this love, for it has become as natural within your soul as the beat of your heart, the rhythm of your breath, the unseen light behind the night sky. Let me tell you about a special kind of light, one that can only be seen when your eyes have learned to adjust to the dark. When fear grips you, you see nothing. But when you pause, breathe, and let your heart grow still, you begin to notice tiny rays, a glimmer in prayer, a spark in peaceful breath, a glow in gratitude, even when nothing has changed. These faint lights are signs that I am near. And as you keep looking, they begin to spread until you finally realize that every shadow has been working for me. Remember this, my child, daytime is not the only hour of my work. The night also belongs to me. When the world sleeps, I labor. When you fall silent, I move. When you stop striving to find me, I fill you. So do not rush to escape the darkness, stay within it until you see me. For only those who dare to sit with pain, who touch silence with trembling hands, can hear the sound of eternity. I do not promise that this night will be short, but I promise it will not be meaningless. For with every night that passes in the realm unseen, I am engraving your name upon the white stone of a new covenant. Each moment you choose faith in the fog, I open another layer of light within your soul. And when dawn returns, you will find yourself changed, your eyes deeper, your heart softer, your faith quieter, yet stronger than ever before. My beloved one, the encounter in darkness is not an accident. It is a turning point. From now on, you will no longer seek me in noise, but in stillness, not in excitement, but in peace, not in outward miracles, but in the life that pulses within. You will come to know there is no place where I am absent, not in confusion, not in loss, not even in the moments when I seem silent. It is there that I speak the loudest. And when you emerge from this night, the light you carry will be different. It will not be the shallow brightness of one untested by pain, but a radiance refined through shadow, deep, humble, yet luminous from within. It is the light of souls who have met me, not on the mountain of glory, but in the valley of mist. And when you gaze into the mirror, you will behold a wonder in your eyes, shines both light and darkness, intertwined as two faces of the same love. My dear child, now that you have met me in the darkness, a miracle begins. You start to hear me no longer with your ears, but with your soul. No more thunderous proclamations, no more visible signs. Instead, my voice becomes a whisper, gentle, tender, yet piercing to the innermost part of you. It is a voice unlike any other, for it does not come from without, but rises from within, from the very place where I dwell inside you. My beloved child, there is a difference between hearing me speak and hearing me live within you. In the past, you listened with your mind, seeking direction, instructions, and clarity. But now you no longer need to hear me through reasoning. You have entered the realm of inner communion, where every thought you think, if you listen deeply enough, will echo the resonance of my voice. You do not need me to speak word by word. You only need to remain in me, and I will naturally guide you, just as water instinctively finds its way to the sea. You once asked, "How do I know it is your voice and not my own?" My child, when you still ask such a question, it shows that you are standing at the threshold of oneness. But now there is no longer separation, for I no longer speak to you as an outsider, but as part of your very being. When peace gently settles in your heart after a decision, that is, my voice. When you feel the stirring to love instead of to judge, that is, my voice. When you sense within yourself the quiet invitation, pause and be still, that is, I touching your heart. My voice, beloved, one is never loud. It is like a tender breeze, like the slowing of your heartbeat after the storm. It does not command, threaten, or demand. I have no need to shout, for I dwell within you. My voice and your breath have now become one. When you pray, you think you are speaking to me, but in truth I am praying with you. When you love another, you think you are giving love, but in truth it is my love flowing through you. This, my child, is the stage of divine illumination. There is no longer a radiant light shining from without, but a soft glow expanding from within. It does not require effort, only stillness. When you sit quietly, without striving, analyzing, or pleading, you will feel a rhythm, slow and deep, that is, my rhythm. Everything begins to make sense, not because your mind understands, but because your soul knows. I have made you, my beloved, the temple of my utterance. Every breath you draw in is Abba, and every breath you release is Amen. There is no distance between us now. When you laugh, I rejoice. When you weep, I keep silent beside you. You do not need to call me loudly, for I am where your breath begins. Every act of kindness, every gentle thought, every quiet forgiveness is the most beautiful prayer you could ever offer me. Once you heard my words through Scripture, now you read Scripture and see those words alive within yourself. When you read, I am the light of the world, you no longer see them as the words of Jesus alone. You hear me saying to you, you are the light of the world. When you read, I am the vine, you are the branches, you understand that life in you does not come from effort, but from union with me. Without me, you can do nothing, but in me, all things are possible. This, beloved, is the inner knowing the saints longed for, not knowledge, but awareness, not explanation, but presence. You no longer need proof that I am real, for your very breath is the evidence. You no longer need to prove your faith, for faith has become the way you live. You no longer argue about truth, for truth has become your essence. Do you see? My beloved, I have led you through storms, through valleys, through fire and shadow, not to test you, but to prepare the way for this very moment. The moment when I can speak within you without words. The moment when your soul is still enough for me to imprint my image upon it without resistance. The moment when all other voices fall silent, for only I remain and I am enough. Now you are learning what only those in perfect union can know, to hear without words, to understand without explanation, to love without reason. When you sit in stillness and your heart overflows with gratitude, that is true worship. When you choose peace instead of reaction, that is glory. And when you forgive without waiting for the other to change, that is my strength living in you. My beloved child, I am teaching you how to live as an enlightened soul, not to rise above others, but to become a servant. For the closer one draws to me, the lower they bow. The light within you was not given to be displayed, but to illuminate. When you live in me, you will no longer need to convince anyone that I am real. You will only need to be present. And it is through that very presence that others will long to meet me. My child, believe this, I am no longer far away for you to search. I am within every cell, every stream of thought, every act of love. When you touch someone with compassion, it is my hand that touches through yours. When you stay silent in the face of offense, it is my voice that speaks through your calm. When you choose to love though wounded, it is I revealing myself through you. My voice no longer echoes as it once did, for it has become your own. From this moment on, your life will become an unceasing dialogue with me, not through words, but through breath. Each time you pause to take a deep breath, you will feel me. Each time you gaze upon the sky and your heart fills with peace, it is I looking back at you. And every time you love someone who seems unlovable, I am smiling within you. My beloved, this is the hour when all veils are being lifted. Your soul has passed through the storm, crossed the valley, endured the fire, sat in darkness, and now you stand on the threshold of mystery. This is the rare moment when I open your eyes to see the world through mine. No longer is there division between light and shadow, between loss and blessing, between trial and reward. All are united in one eternal truth. Everything moves within my love. My child, you have grown accustomed to seeing through the eyes of the flesh, eyes that see only in part. They see events but not meaning, pain but not purpose, death but not the life being born through it. Now I give you new eyes, the eyes of a soul purified by fire, eyes that see beyond the surface into what is eternal. You will begin to understand that nothing happens outside of my will, and no tear falls without carrying the seed of life. I teach you to see through my eyes, not that you may become superior, but that you may become humble. For when you truly see, you will know that no one is your enemy, no one is worthless, and no one is forgotten. True light does not come to judge, it comes to reveal. When you look upon others through this light, you will no longer ask, "Why are they like this?" but whisper instead, "Lord, let me see you in them." This is the vision of heaven. It does not stop at actions but goes straight to the soul. I show you, my child, that darkness does not vanish when light appears. It simply loses its power to rule. Darkness still exists, yet now it becomes the backdrop against which the light shines brighter. When you see through my eyes, you will understand darkness is where light is revealed, pain is where love deepens, loss is where grace overflows, and death, my child, is not the end. It is the doorway to eternal life. You have heard me speak in silence. Now you will see me in all things. When someone smiles at you, it is my gaze. When the wind brushes against your cheek, it is my touch. When the sun sets and the sky burns with orange fire, it is my way of saying I am still here. You will no longer need signs, for everything will become a sign. The world around you, every sound, every motion, every breath, is already singing the song of my presence. My child, enlightenment is not something to achieve, but something to become. You are becoming light not through striving, but through surrender. You no longer try to be holy, for your yielding has already made you so. You no longer force yourself to love, for love now flows from you as naturally as a spring. I have written my law upon your heart, and now you no longer need to remind yourself to walk rightly. Your steps will find the path of righteousness, because they carry the rhythm of my spirit. You are beginning to understand what the wise of old could only express in symbols, that light cannot exist apart from darkness, nor can darkness be severed from light. Both rest in my hands. Darkness is the veil, light is the word, and both serve the same purpose, to draw you back to me. When you grasp this, you will fear no season of your life. Whether in joy or in tears, you will still see me, ever present, ever near, ever love. My beloved child, I will share this secret with you. Those who see through, my eyes will always perceive life, where others see only loss. When you walk into places where people are mourning, you will notice seeds sprouting beneath the ashes. When you pass through barren lands, you will discern underground rivers of grace. And when you look at yourself, you will see that my hands are still shaping you, still at work. For I never cease creating, I am still writing your story day by day, moment by moment. My child, this is the time for you to learn how to walk in light amidst the darkness. That does not mean avoiding the darkness, but carrying the light into it. You will no longer fear the pain of others, for you will know the light within you is strong enough to warm them. You will no longer run from chaos, for you will understand that I can shine most brilliantly there. You will become an instrument of reconciliation, a bridge between light and shadow, between despair and hope, between the broken and the healer. I will place within you a lamp that no one can extinguish. It will not be a light meant only for yourself, but one you will bring to places untouched by light. You will not walk alone, for I will go with you. When you enter the darkness, I will go before you as a pillar of fire. When you speak, your words will carry the echo of heaven. When you touch a weary soul, your hands will carry the life of the Spirit. My child, the light within you will not be merely the light of understanding, but of compassion. You will see others as I see them, souls searching for the way home, and instead of judging you, will kneel to wash their feet with love. For you will know that without grace you too once stood where they stand. The more you look through my eyes, the smaller you will become, and the greater I will grow within you. Then, my child, every boundary between the sacred and the ordinary will fade away. Everything you do, even the simplest acts, will become holy. When you cook, when you work, when you walk, when you smile, all will become worship. For worship will no longer be an action, but your very being. The light within you will transform each ordinary moment into an eternal one. And then there will come a time when you lift your eyes and realize you are no longer merely seeing through my eyes, you are living through my vision. You no longer just carry the light, you are the light. Not your own light, but mine shining through you. And wherever you go, others will find hope. They will look at you and see, not you but me smiling through your eyes. My beloved child, this is the summit of the journey. No longer fearing the dark, no longer fearing loss, no longer fearing change. You will know that in all things I am there. You will no longer need to know what lies ahead, for you will know who walks beside you. When you see through my eyes, you will understand that this world, though filled with cracks, still gleams with my glory. My beloved one, now that my light has shone deeply into your soul, I want you to know that you are entering a new season, the season of inner resurrection. All that was old has passed away, all things are being made new. You are no longer the one who entered the fire, nor the one who sat in the shadows. You are the one rising from the ashes, carrying within you the fresh breath of life. I proclaim, behold, I make all things new. Revelation 2:1-5, and it begins within you. My child, new life does not arrive like thunder. It comes like a seed quietly pushing through the soil after the rain. You will sense it not through outward changes, but through the stillness within. A new kind of peace, silent yet profound, is being planted in your soul. It depends on no circumstance, comes not from things going well, but from walking with me in all things. That peace is the sign that your soul has been resurrected, not merely surviving, but reborn with new purpose. My beloved, when I resurrect your soul, I do not merely restore what was lost. I grant what you never had before. You thought resurrection meant returning, but in truth it means ascending. You will find that the goals you once chased now seem small. You will no longer strive for success or approval, for you have found the source of life in me. From now on, all you do will no longer spring from fear of losing, but from the joy of giving. You have learned the lesson of the fire, and now you are ready to live in the light of new life. My beloved child, I am giving you a new mission. It is not a burden of labor, but an invitation to walk beside me in freedom. You no longer need to prove your worth, for you already know that your value was determined by me. Your mission does not begin with doing, but with love. From now on, you will become a sower of peace, a speaker of the language of hope, a bearer of life's breath to withered places. You will not need to preach with words, for your life itself, your calmness, your kindness, the light in your eyes will be the message. I declare to you, step forth, my child, and live as one who has risen, no longer shaped by the past, by failure, or by fear. Live as one who knows that everything that happens carries within it my purpose. When you speak, your words will carry the sound of wisdom. When you touch another, their heart will be warmed. When you pray, the earth will listen, and heaven will answer. For your soul is now intertwined with mine, and the power of resurrection flows through you like a sacred current. My child, this is the season when peace blooms after the fire. This peace is not fragile like morning dew, but steadfast like a tree that has endured storms. It does not flee from trials, but stands firm within them. This peace does not come because pain is gone, but because pain no longer holds power. You have learned how to be still, to trust, to surrender. And from that surrender, a new strength is emerging, the strength of gentleness, of compassion, of steadfast grace. My child, I now see in you a different light, a light not dazzling to draw attention, but warm to heal. It is a light that makes others not only want to hear you, but to be near you. They will feel safe in your presence, for you have learned not to judge, but to listen, to love, without expecting in return. This is the mark of one who has been resurrected. They no longer carry fear, but peace. Walk softly, my child, for now you carry my kingdom within you. Every step you take plants seeds of life. Every word you speak waters them. And when the time is right, those seeds will sprout in the hearts of others. I have chosen you, not because you are strong, but because you have learned to yield. Not because you are gifted, but because you allow me to work through you. Your mission is not to change the world through power, but through love, quiet, patient, and true. I say to you, those who have walked through fire will know how to light the lamp for others. You are one of them. You will meet souls who are lost, those who carry the same wounds you once bore, and you will understand them without words. I will use you like an instrument in my hand, sometimes as a sound of comfort, sometimes as a call to awaken, sometimes as the gentle echo of my presence. Believe this, even if you do not see results right away, everything you sow holds eternal worth. My child, you once feared loss, but now you understand that nothing is truly lost in my kingdom, only transformed. Everything I take away, I replace with something deeper. Everything you thought was dead, I am bringing back to life in a new way. And in this journey of resurrection, you will see that life is not a series of random events, but a symphony written by a wise hand. You need only walk in rhythm, and I will provide the melody. My beloved, you now rise from the ashes, not as a survivor, but as one reborn. Your soul breathes to a new cadence. Your heart beats to a gentler rhythm. No longer the hurried pulse of fear, but the deep hum of peace. No longer the heavy sound of worry, but the quiet murmur of life. You have passed through the long night, and now the dawn is not only rising outside, it is breaking forth within you. My beloved child, you no longer need to seek life, for you have become the very stream of life itself. Wherever you walk, renewal begins, for you carry my breath in every cell of your being. You have learned to love as I love, without selection, without condition, without fear of loss. You love not to receive, but because love has become your essence. You no longer need to ask, "How can I serve the Lord?" For every breath you take, every small act you perform, is already an act of service. My child, this new life is not loud. It does not come like thunder, but like the quiet dew that moistens the earth. It does not seek to prove itself. It simply is. You now understand that true power does not lie in doing much, but in being fully present. When you sit beside someone in pain, saying nothing but filled with compassion, you are giving life. When you look upon another with eyes of understanding, you open a door for their soul to breathe. And when you forgive, you break invisible chains so that the river of life may flow freely once more. I speak to you now, my child, walk in the new lightness. For one who has died and risen again is no longer bound by the old weight. Those things that once burdened you, the past regret and fear, I have buried beneath the soil of grace. You no longer need to carry them. I have rewritten your story not with the ink of effort, but with the blood of redemption. And in this new writing there are no chapters of remorse, only chapters of light. My child, the new life I give does not separate you from the world, but overflows within it. I do not pull you away from humanity. I send you back into its midst, but with a renewed heart. You will no longer look upon the world through fearful eyes, but through the gaze of one who has known grace. You will walk again into the places that once brought you pain, but this time you will not be wounded. You will bring healing there. Your old wounds have now become springs of mercy. My beloved, I declare to you, you are the sower. For only those who have once been buried know how to plant. They do not fear the darkness of the soil, nor the silence of being forgotten, for they know that within stillness the seed begins to sprout. You will sow faith where there is doubt, peace where there is division, and love where there is hurt. And though you may not see the fruit at once, I promise that every seed sown in love will blossom in my appointed season. Your new calling is not found in what you do, but in what you are. You no longer carry the burden of having to become something. You only need to be one reborn, one who carries the breath of heaven within flesh and bone. For my child, your very presence has now become a miracle. Others may not understand it, but they will feel it. When you step into a place, the atmosphere will change. When you smile, hearts will soften. When you pray, unseen currents in the spirit will begin to move. Know this, my child, the new life does not avoid adversity, but it is no longer consumed by it. Just as the seed does not fear the earth, the resurrected one does not fear trials. You will still have rainy days, but rain will now be nourishment, not flood. You will still feel the wind, but the wind will remind you that I am moving around you. You will still see tears, but each drop will carry the reflection of joy to come. My beloved child, I see within you the birth of a new desire, not the desire to prove yourself, but the desire to be present. You no longer pray to be used, but to be purified enough for me to flow through you. You no longer seek praise, but seek to love more deeply. You no longer ask, "What should I do?" but whisper, "Whom do you wish to love through me today?" That is the mark of a resurrected soul, when life is no longer about asserting, but about giving. I declare, live like a flower that blooms after the fire. That flower no longer trembles before the wind, for it knows the wind as its friend. It does not fear the fire, for the fire has made it what it is. Every petal is proof that death cannot conquer life. Likewise, you are the evidence that darkness cannot overcome light. You need not speak of it, only live it. The world will see the scars and the light coexisting within you, and they will understand where there was once ash, there is now life. My beloved child, you thought your new mission was an outward act. But no, it is the inward life that has grown deep enough to overflow. You do not need to change the world. You only need to let me renew you each day. The world will change accordingly. When you choose peace amid chaos, you sow a seed. When you choose love where hatred reigns, you shake the heavens and the earth. When you choose faith where hope seems lost, you bring forth resurrection. My beloved one, now that your soul has been restored, I give you a gift that every soul longs for, yet few truly grasp: the peace of heaven. Not the fragile calm that the world finds in fleeting silence, but the peace that surpasses all understanding, the peace that stands firm when the winds rise, when the waters swell, when the noise of the world grows loud. This peace does not come to help you escape life, but to let you walk through it untouched by its storms. You have known the fire, tasted the darkness, and heard my voice in the stillness. Now you will learn the power of tranquility. For peace, my child, is not the weakness of the soul, but the proof of divine power. Those who have never walked through the storm cannot comprehend the strength of stillness, but you, one who has been broken, now understand that peace is not the final reward. It is the instrument I place in your hands to transform the world. My child, you will walk among restless crowds without losing yourself. You will see people rush, argue, and judge, and yet you will stand among them silent as a deep river. Your peace will become a lighthouse for weary souls. When you refuse to react as the world reacts, when you do not grow angry at what angers others, when you choose love instead of debate, that is, when the peace within you becomes a weapon of heaven, I do not need you to shout the truth. I only need you to live it amidst the noise, and the truth will speak for itself through you. My beloved, the peace I give does not come from things becoming easy, but from knowing that everything rests in my hands. When you believe this, no force can shake your heart. When others see injustice, you will see an opportunity to love. When others see chaos, you will see my hand weaving a greater plan. When others see an end, you will see a beginning. It is the way you see that sets you apart, for you no longer look through human eyes, but through mine. My child, I have trained you in fire, so that now you may carry peace into the fire. I have taught you silence, so that now you may speak with the sound of stillness. Every word you speak when saturated with my peace will hold more power than 1,000 shouts. When you lay your hand upon someone and your heart is filled with peace, that energy will pass through their soul like a holy current. Peace is not merely a feeling, it is a creative force. It can heal, release, and resurrect. I declare, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Matthew 5:9. My child, this is your new mission. Not every battle needs a victor. Some only need someone willing to stop and love. You are sent not as a warrior with a sword, but as a bearer of peace amidst the clash of blades. When you appear, everything will slow. When you speak, hearts will soften. When you pray, the atmosphere around you will shift. Peace does not separate you from life. It allows you to see it in depth. When others hurry, you will know how to pause. When others despair, you will know how to smile. When others judge, you will choose compassion. For you understand that every soul is on its own journey, and only love can lead them home. Peace enables you to love without being wounded, to give without becoming empty, to live in this world while still belonging to heaven. My beloved child, do not fear that peace will make you passive. No, it is the most powerful state of the soul, for when you are still, I act. When you cease to struggle, I open the way. When you sit down, I shake the heavens and the earth. Your strength no longer lies in resistance, but in surrender. Just as the calm lake reflects the sky, the peaceful soul reflects my glory. Now I am sending you forth not as a fighter, but as a builder. You will not prevail by power, but through gentleness. You will not conquer by words, but through presence. You will not reign by might, but through mercy. When you live this way, the world may not understand, yet their souls will remember. They will recognize that you belong to another kingdom, a kingdom that cannot be shaken. My child, let your peace become a song. Let it resound in every word you speak, every glance you give, every step you take. Do not allow the world to draw you into its noise. Instead, draw the world into my stillness. When others are anxious, be still. When others doubt, believe. When others blame, intercede. It is through this that you will make me visible among the crowds who can no longer hear the sound of heaven. And I say this to you, O bearer of light. The peace within you is not meant for you alone. It is a river meant to flow. Do not keep it locked inside. Let it pour out through your smile, your kindness, your forgiveness. For when you share peace, you do not lose it. Instead, you receive more. My peace is not like a lamp that shines in a single room. It is a flame spreading from heart to heart until the whole world is ablaze with light. My child, I rejoice that you have learned what many souls spend a lifetime not understanding, that true power does not lie in domination, but in maintaining peace. A person may cause a city to tremble through strength, but only one who carries peace can make that city kneel in reverence. You will not need to prove yourself right. Simply remain in peace, and I will do the rest. My beloved one, you have now crossed the threshold into a new season, the harvest of glory. This is not a random reward, but the fruit born from every tear, every sigh, every moment you chose faith in the darkness. Everything you endured, every loss that once seemed meaningless, is now converging into this very moment, like the first rays of a dawn predestined before you were even born. I declare to you, those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy. Psalm 1:2-6-5, and this word is now fulfilled in your life. You are no longer the sower, my child. You are becoming the reaper. But the harvest I give is not merely physical or visible reward. It is the harvest of the soul, where you look back upon what seemed lost and realize that nothing was wasted. Every seed you planted in faith, however small, has already sprouted in the unseen realm, and now they are blooming not only for you but for the generations to come. My child, this harvest is unlike any other. It does not arrive with noise but in stillness. It does not come to hurried hands but to a grateful heart. You will not need to chase blessings, for blessings will chase you. You will not need to prove your worth, for your faithfulness has already spoken for you. I have seen how you loved when no one was watching, how you prayed when no one answered, how you persevered when all seemed silent. These things have risen like incense, and now that fragrance returns to you in the form of glory. My dear one, I want you to understand that glory does not come as a separate reward, but as the unveiling of my very presence within you. When others look at you, they will not merely see one who has overcome, they will see my light shining through your life. Every wound you once carried will become a window through which light pours out. Every limitation you once thought was a burden will become a mark showing that my power is made perfect in your weakness. I said your time will come, and now it has. Yet I want you to understand that this harvest is not only for you to enjoy, it is for you to distribute. You were not called to gather light, but to spread it. What I have placed within you is not meant solely for your own soul, but for the multitude longing for what you have found. You are a witness of grace, the living evidence that faith is never in vain. When people look at you, they will see that God is still at work, that miracles still breathe, and that love remains stronger than anything else. My beloved child, I see the hesitation still dwelling in your heart. You fear that this joy might be too fragile, that it could fade like a dream. But do not be afraid. The glory I bestow does not come to pass away, but to remain. It is not a fleeting reward, but a new state of your soul. You are now living in the reality of heaven, even while standing upon the earth. As you walk, grace will trail behind you like a fragrance. As you speak, your words will carry the power of life. As you pray, the heavens themselves will move. I declare, this is the season when you will behold the results of what once made no sense. You will look back and smile, for every crooked path led to the same destination, me. The tears that once fell will become rain nourishing the fields of blessing. The times you stumbled will become the foundation upon which you now stand strong. You will realize that nothing in my plan was ever meaningless, for everything was woven by the hand of the Almighty, every thread of pain, every thread of hope, every thread of love. My child, I will clothe you with a new garment, not made of fabric but of light. It will be the sign that you belong to me, the proof that you have walked through fire without being burned and crossed the waters without being drowned. People will look at you and say, "This is the one whom God has preserved," and you will simply smile, knowing that it was not merit that saved you but love. The glorious harvest is also the time when I expand your vision. You will see promises I once spoke, those you thought were lost, beginning to bloom. There are prayers you uttered years ago that I withheld, not because I forgot, but because I waited for the right time, the time when your heart would be pure enough to receive without losing itself. Now you are ready. I no longer need to test you with fire, for the fire has become light within you. You have become one who can carry glory without being crushed by it. My beloved, I now permit you to enter the harvest of grace. There you will find me in every little thing. Every person you meet will be an opportunity to plant a new seed. Every word you speak will carry the energy of healing. Every smile you offer will be like a ray, awakening sleeping souls. You do not need to strive to change the world, just live truly in love, and the world around you will naturally transform. I tell you, faithful one, you have been tested, and you have been found faithful. Therefore I entrust you with more, not riches, but spiritual influence. You will become a resting place for weary souls. People will come to you not because you hold all the answers, but because they sense my presence through you. You will be peace in the midst of storms, the extension of my hand in a chaotic world. And do not forget, my child, this harvest is not the end, it is the beginning of a new sacred cycle. For every time you reap, you receive seeds to sow anew, and each new seed will carry within it the essence of everything you have lived through. Every season that follows will shine brighter than the one before, for you are moving closer to perfect union with me. Rejoice, chosen one, for your season has come. Every tear has turned into a diamond within your crown of glory. Every prayer once whispered into the dark is now answered in radiant light. Open your hands, you who once sowed in sorrow, for now is the time to reap with songs of joy, and I, your God, will dance with you in the fields of grace amid the harvest of miracles. Thank you for listening to this message today. Subscribe and turn on notifications, that together we may continue to receive the living word, build steadfast faith, and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.